Welcome to another episode of This Is Anything Goes, and today I am going to try to restore the leather seat on my Proton Inspira aka Lancer 08. So the damage that we have right here are actually cracks as well as peeling of the leather. You can see that it's present on this side and this side. A bit of on this side as well. Perfect on this side because this is actually the driver's seat and I hardly touch it. Alright, there's barely any damage on this side, but it's mostly on here and here from getting in and out of the car, and here from my shoulder rubbing during traffic jams. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is clean this. Oh, before that, I'm going to show you what we need. So to clean it, we'll be using a multi-purpose foam cleaner. If you don't have this, you can just scrub it with your dishwasher as well as soap water. Then we have this 1000 grit sandpaper, we have a leather filler, and we have leather paint. Alright, so this is black. I've not tried this yet, so I do not know whether it matches with the color. If it doesn't, then I'll just respray the entire surface. If it does, then I'll just do it by portion. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so once we have gotten that clean, we'll wait for it to dry and then we'll apply the sanding disc. We will sand it smooth, so stay for that. Okay, we're gonna start sanding with 600 grit instead of 1000 grit to just speed up things. Sand it in one direction. Okay, so now we'll be using leather filler, which is this. Okay, so you have to apply quick because it's light, but then it dries up pretty quick. But try and apply in one direction and fill up the gaps. Apply thin and make sure you fill up the gaps. So you don't have to worry about not being able to fill up completely, because you need to probably go 2 rounds on this to build up the gel on the cracks. Okay. Okay, so this is done, first layer. So we'll wait for this to dry for 1 hour. You can actually speed it up if you have a hair dryer or heat gun, but I want it to be as natural as possible, as well as I got another video being done. So I'll leave it to dry for one hour. I'll come back, I'll sand it with 1000 grit, and if there's any more grooves or gaps that are not filled up, I will fill up a second layer. Alright, it's been an hour. We could sand this and then put another layer on it, but looks like it's covered quite well that I don't think I need another layer. But I'll do this tomorrow because it's raining. It was hot like hell just an hour ago and it's raining. And I have a package. Well, I have a package. Okay, so I'll continue this tomorrow. This is 400 grit sanding sponge, because I noticed that if I use the sandpaper, I might accidentally scrape it and cause more damage actually. So 400 grit, sand it lightly. Alright, so this is after sanding with 400 grit sanding sponge, then followed by 600 grit sanding paper. It's smooth to the touch. You may still see some grains here, but if you run your fingers through it, you don't really feel it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tape up the parts that I'm not going to be painting. So I will expose this portion, and this portion. The rest I'll tape out. I am hoping that the black color matches so that I don't have to respray the whole front of the seat. Just keeping my fingers crossed, alright? But I will do it tomorrow because it's starting to be evening and it's not hot enough now. And I don't feel like using the heat gun. So yeah, we'll continue this tomorrow. Okay, so we've wrapped it up. I'm just putting this plastic over here so that the paint does not drip. Again, I'm going to be painting this side, and this side only. 3 spots. Okay, I've done 2 layers of the paint. Now we will need to let it dry, but we will take off the tape as well. Alright, so that's the end of this DIY. So again, the steps is very simple. Sand it smooth, fill it with ladder filler, mask the thing off, and then spray it with ladder paint. So this is the ladder paint that I'm using. It's a kind of a flexible paint. So my advice is don't use normal aerosol paint because that will crack when you press on the ladder. See, this is flexible enough that it doesn't crack. So is the ladder filler. So the ladder filler is gel base. Alright, you can see this. So some of you will probably just Google where to buy this. Okay, now how well the restoration ends up depends on how long you want to spend on it. So for me, I didn't spend much time to sand it smooth to the point where you do not see all these lines. The reason why I'm keeping the lines is so that it reminds me that this ladder is broken before. Whereas you see the original ladder is nice and smooth with a bit of a texture. We won't be able to get this texture. That's for sure, because we'll be sanding it smooth. So that's the difference between here and here. But in terms of the color, I will say in terms of the color, there is very little difference. You don't really see the difference between the old and the new color, which is good. So I don't have to respray the whole thing. Very nice. It's no longer flaky. It's no longer poking into my skin, which is good. I'm caressing it a bit too much, right? Okay, so let's talk about how long this DIY took. So all in all, the amount of time I spent on it is roughly about an hour only. I didn't spend that long to actually sand this. In terms of cost, these 2 items does not cost me more than 30 ringgit, or maybe less than 50 ringgit. Can't really remember. I actually bought this for quite a while, but I didn't have the chance to actually do this DIY, and this seat was outside here for a very, very long time. Yeah, that's because I got a spare seat inside the car. Okay, not much to talk about. I think that's all. Okay, so as usual, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like. If you dislike, you can always hit this, but leave us a comment down below on what to improve further. And as usual, if you have not done so, make sure you hit the subscribe, like and bell button so you get notified on our future uploads. Till then, I will stop caressing this. Okay, see ya.